For all the change in the world, people are still basically the same. Oh, you startled me. I just can't shake these nightmares. always nice to have visitors around here. I just can't shake these nightmares. Floating in space forever. Just why? Oh, I thought I heard someone around here.
Kids today? Well, if it isn't one of those young punks who keeps trampling on my golf course. What do you have to say for yourself, kid? Why, I don't know what you're talking about. Kids these days, so presumptuous. This mighty fine establishment is the one and only White Spring Resort, where only millionaires are welcome. If you're a helpless youth with no assets to your name and nowhere else to go, well, that's too bad. Get lost. Why, of course it does. In a world like this, banding together is necessary for survival. But it wouldn't do to shack up with just any old ragamuffins waving guns around and wearing scraps for clothing. I am, of course, cut from a finer cloth. This dapper clothing and refined accent serve to set that standard for the new world. Whatever do you mean? How could I possibly have any complaints with a luxurious top-floor view of the apocalypse and a shining silver spoon up my arse? I simply love to sip tea and watch the peasants die of radiation poisoning. Sure thing, kiddo. What do you want to know? Well, it's funny you ask. I was just thinking about the good old days when I could shoot birdies out on the lawn without getting mauled by ferals. Ah, those were the simple days. Just playing golf and happily ignoring all the problems in the world. Get up? Well, I never! All right, you got me. I'm a raider who's got nothing better to do, okay? I spend my days fending off irradiated monstrosities to survive. Anyway, why not make some fun out of it? It's my favorite hobby! Now, these days, it's hard to find a quality golf ball, so I aim for ghoul heads instead. Normally, it takes a couple strokes to knock those stubborn suckers off their tees, but next time I'm shooting for a hole-in-one. Certainly. as well, stranger. I can't hear you. I'm rich. Cheerio, sucker. Back in my day, the world wasn't such a fucking disaster.
I just can't shake these nightmares. Floating in space forever. Just why?
Attention citizens. Nuclear strike imminent. Please exit the area at your earliest convenience. Thank you for your cooperation.
sir. Pardon me. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
It's been sunny all week. I love it here.
don't join the responders for caps. They join to make a difference.
Orlando is very charming, but to be honest
Orlando
with you,
is
I'm not
very
really
charming.
sure why they're helping us.
To be honest with you, I'm not really sure why they're helping us.
Looking for something new to spruce up your life? Stop by Giuseppe's Curios in the main room.
Not
This is a paid
specifically
advertisement.
asked, but
Mr. Della Ripa.
Well, hello,
would like
Doc.
to
If you're...
organize
That will be...
nothing else.
If you are... However...
Only he would dust those shelves of his.
Welcome back.
if I didn't keep tallies,
Anyone in the refuge? There is a... I'm so... What a... As it... Change your mind.
I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction
They
workers
call
are up
it
to.
one of their...
Look at what a mess they're making.
Indeed. I was... If you... Judging the poor in... Well, their content... Oh, you're... Now, I just saw that other... Our lovely... You can find the darling and Miss Watt.
That miscreant from Crater scratched my chassis on the way
What?
in.
When you are... I imagine... Do feel... Always a... Me, dear? Darling... Me? I don't... If I remember... I can't... Oh, here, if you want to... Can't wait. How about disappointing? Working in their stead, it had it but to be. Promise me.
Oh, how are we going to
Not-
accommodate so many guests?
I'm a...
They aren't even
a
paying.
one. And as I... Actually, management, once aware... I am... There is... My... However, suffice it. My... However, suffice... I am... I'll be delighted.
The White
Oh,
Springs decree
I go.
is
Think of
refined
me.
and decadent. Don't
My...
listen to any
That sounds...
naysayers.
I over... Food... No, unless... Of course... Let's just... Of course... Certainly...
I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day,
But,
telling me
however,
he'd
a
reprogram me
child...
if I'm not more positive.
I believe... However, you may... Regret and the rest if your dog stand. Not... Believe me.
That miscreant from Crater scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude!
It's funny what comes to mind at a time like this. When I was little, I used to come here with my grandfather. Every morning, we'd sit right here, have donuts, read the paper, just the two of us. Everything changes. They got rid of the donuts, and the staff, and the whole world. The spot, it's still here. Joyce did her best. They all did. They make it out there.
I never thought a single person
As
could
for
be
me,
spread so thin.
I'm going to stay right here, have one last donut. Whatever happens, happens. Everything changes, but in the end, I can't imagine a place I'd rather be.
The safe haven filled with people.
Your
trying to help
uniform's a bit
others.
worse for
It
wear,
feels like
but
a
it's good to see
dying
you helping out the
bunny.
cause.
Or hell, if you look out the window.
Damn. Well, seems like timing is one of your strong suits. Look, I can stitch up a gash with the best of them. But Appalachia, well, she can do a lot worse than cut us open. Cut a lot of folks here with sickness we don't understand, and injuries we don't know how to treat. What we need more than anything is know-how. So I propose we trade. What I got that I don't need, for what you need that you don't got. I've heard you're looking ahead into the pit, and the only safe way out of Appalachia is that metal bird Lennox has perched up on the roof. And what keeps her in the air are those ultrasight cells Orlando keeps locked up. So, that... Today you'll be going to school. So, how about it?
I heard there's a chess
Before...
set around here.
I don't know
if you ever
how,
wanna
but if
play.
there's any... Can the responders count on you? Nice. Well, anything you're able to find.
Helping people is our chief mission. The cool uniforms are just a nice bonus.
I heard a bunch of nerds arguing over comic book heroes yesterday. Aren't there more important things to worry about? Can't believe we've got a vertibird. That's a step up in the world if I've ever seen one.
My bones are aching. Must be a red storm on the way.
Attention, citizens. Nuclear strike imminent. Please exit the area at your earliest convenience. Thank you for your cooperation.
Wow, they've really gotten set up here.
All wines and spirits aged a minimum of 25 years.
It's nice to see people around in the responders uniform again.
Our sommelier recommends drinking. Wines are sold by the glass, bottle, and case.
I suppose a nice refuge like this is worth more hungry mouths.
Due to the risk of exploding glassware, mixed drinks are no longer available.
To the Brotherhood, we'd have utterly destroyed the fanatics by now.
May I interest you in wine, beer, and/or spirits? Guests are welcome to relate their problems if desired.
I think I heard a Protectron bark
Wines
the other day.
are sold by the glass,
Crazy.
bottle, and case.
Look at the ailments on these refugees. The pit must be a real hellhole.
Wonder if they have any chems laying around here.
Sorry, now's not a good time. I've got a lot on my mind.
Dining.
I love
Another scotch.
Ma'am.
What about you, Liz? Have you made up your mind
I
yet?
even bother helping people.
Oh, Bill's keen on Charleston. We were social with the governor. I'm sure he'd make arrangements for us. Evans? That snake? He was always for sale. Not a terrible thing if you're the buyer. Can you imagine? Parading into town like a troop of beggars. And Charleston, no less. It always was a slum. Now, with refugees swarming like flies... No. The resorts are the better option. If the White Spring won't have us, we should try Pleasant Valley. Even Sunny Top. Sunny Top? Really? I'm not there for the skiing. Or the clientele. But I'd rather stay at a shoddy lodge than take my chances with whatever may be going on down in the valley.
This wanton robot tried to
Ma'am.
before running off.
Just set it down, set it down. Now, let's finish this rubber. $1 a point.
Sorry, I'm not much for conversation. Allison talked me.
Well, hello there, stranger. Pleased to meet you. I'm Sophie Wagner. Look around. The refuge. Quite a place, isn't it? I mean, sure, fancy pants, golf club, resort, that's nice, but I'm talking about the refuge. A haven for the lost, the dispossessed, the hungry, and unfortunate. A monument to our ability to have compassion for each other. Isn't it grand? Isn't it worth preserving?
The responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what they're doing now.
Now that's... Rutgers put me in... It might surprise... We work hard, so here I... Let me... Rutgers been in it. It'd be a big help.
Just a little
Well...
longer, Ellison. Valdez will see everything you have to offer.
Yeah. Okay, if that's... We use them to power... I got a feeling... That's... Oh, I'll be here all day. It really makes...
A safe haven filled with people trying to help others?
It feels like I've died and gone to heaven. Or hell, if you look out the window.
Glad to see you. You do? It just so happens I got a little... Rucker set aside some ultrasight... They're not much use. Thanks so much.
It's been sunny all week.
I love it here.
These refugees wouldn't last one day in Crater.
Considering all the places.
Good evening.
I'm
Here
extremely
for
lucky
dinner.
I've never
Please
felt
feel free to seat yourself.
Bonjour! My name... We've had some... I thought I've started a pot of Venice... Super! Let's have you start by stirring the stew, which will help keep it from burning. Remember to continuously stir during the cooking process. Fantastique! Let's get the first of the ingredients and prepare them. You're looking for carrots, potatoes, and the pièce de résistance, the venison.
Please have a seat. Someone will be with you shortly.
These robots sure make my job easier. The potatoes here taste amazing. So fresh and only a few rads.
If you see anyone struggling out in Appalachia, be sure to tell them about the White Spring.
If you ever find yourself in a bind, you can always call us.
This blood-leaf aioli really elevates the mirelurk meat. My friend!
Please seat yourself. A waiter will be with you shortly.
I heard about what happened in Morgantown. I know it was way back. I'm glad they chose to send me somewhere safe, not somewhere like that.
Robot butlers? Is this a refuge or a palace? Oh, I can't wait until dinner. I think I heard a Protectron bark the other day. Am I going crazy? Need anything?
There's times you've gotta accept the cards you're dealt. Learn to make the best of it.
I hope we get some Deathclaw meat soon. Its tenderness is magnifique.
No reservations required. Help yourself to any
My friends didn't
cable.
want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what they're doing now.
I heard a bunch of nerds arguing over comic book heroes yesterday. Aren't there more important things to worry about?
This is smelling delicious. Let's add more flavor with some salt and pepper now.
I wouldn't want to be Rucker. I never thought a single person could be spread so thin. Considering all the places I could have ended up, I'm extremely lucky I'm here. I've never felt safer.
Folks don't join the responders for caps. They join to make a difference.
Oh no, the stew has burned. Here is your stew. Hopefully.
About what happened in Morgantown. I know it was way back. I'm glad they chose to send me somewhere safe, not somewhere.
Potatoes here taste amazing. So fresh and only a few reds. Are you at the refuge? Burn stew? It's nice to see people around in the responders uniform again.
Wonder if they have any chems laying around here.
I suppose a nice refuge like this is worth more hungry mouths. With all these supplies, we could really do some good trading with the White Spring. I could really use a drink. The Rucker wants us sober on the job.
Everything is too clean here. Time to dirty it up a little.
Look at the ailments on these refugees. The pit must be a real hellhole.
Can't believe we've got a vertibird. That's a step up in the world if I've ever seen one.
Wow, they've really gotten set up here. I was out scavenging for food earlier. Only got attacked by Scorch once.
I can't wait until dinner. Orlando is very charming. But to be honest with you, I'm not really sure why they're helping us.
If you're caught out and about with no place to go, the responders have an outpost in Flatwoods.
Maybe I come off a little too strong. No, maybe not strong enough.
Robot butlers? Is this a refuge or a palace?
Attention citizens, nuclear strike imminent. Please exit the area at your earliest convenience. Thank you for your cooperation.
What?
You're again. Us?
White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. That miscreant from Kratos scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. The White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. That miscreant from Kratos scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. That miscreant from Kratos scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! The White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. The White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. That miscreant from Kratos scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. That miscreant from Kratos scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. That miscreant from Crater scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. The White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. That miscreant from Crater scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! The White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. Mr. Della Ripa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his. I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. miscreant from Crater scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude! I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making. Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many guests? They aren't even paying. I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me they'd reprogram me if I'm not more positive. Mr. Della Rippa only likes to organize his stamps. Nothing else. Oh, if only he would dust those shelves of his.
This wanton robot tried to give me a haircut before running off.
Always a pleasure to see a guest.
Shame. I can't get the back by myself.
Rucker said you were helping us out. Hope you got some good news about
Wonder if they have any...
These textbooks are heavier than I thought they'd be. I'll get these distributed to the other medics right away.
I suppose a nice refuge like this...
Thanks for getting this back to us.
Still getting used to sleeping with both eyes closed.
Hey there. Don't think we met. I'm Skippy Rorich. Something I or the Union can do for you? The Union is a sort of I guess you might call us a confederation, or a resistance. People banding together for defense. See, there's a group in the pit. Calls themselves fanatics. All they care about is conquest. They want the whole pit for themselves. They roll into your area, you either join them, they force you to labor for them, or they kill you. And they're coming for everybody. The Union's the only thing standing between them and their total conquest of the pit. As much as we're able, anyway. What's a Skippy look like, huh? Call me Skip if you like that better, or whatever you want. Just don't call me Mr. Rorich. Never felt right, that. Took me weeks to get that Orlando character to stop doing it, at least to my face. That's right, looking for someone to help us take the fight to the fanatics. Surprised we got a taker, actually. You are interested, right? Hell, you've got raider gangs here, right? I've heard about your Blood Eagles. The fanatics are something like them, but more organized. Imagine every single raider gang you've ever heard got together and decided to make like Genghis Khan. Sweep over everything. Kill anyone who won't join, and put anyone too weak to fight into forced labor camps. Everything that's not theirs they take. That's the fanatics. And be glad they're not here. Bad. Don't get me wrong. It's home, and I want us to keep it. But we got hit bad in the war, and we've never recovered. Lots of radiation. Some areas are badly toxic, with all the junk that got blasted into the air or spread around from the factories. People are sick a lot, from one thing or another, and food can be hard to come by. Hell, some of the city's still on fire, I think. But some of the factories survived, and we got them running. Gives us access to things you can't get anywhere else. Might even be able to rebuild. If it weren't for the fanatics. Because it's home, damn it. Mine, ours, all of us who were born and lived there before and after the bombs. Ain't that enough? If the fanatics are out of the picture, we can rebuild. Make something out of it again. It doesn't have to stay like it is. If that ain't enough for you, picture this. A horde of fanatics, hundreds, thousands strong, setting their sights here. Sound like something you want? The Union's back's against the wall. We're doing our best to hold off the fanatics. Keep them from taking everything. Occasionally, we win some small victories, but not a lot. Got a couple of situations back there right now where an extra hand might tip things in our favor, at least for now. I don't want to call it mercenary work, but I'm not gonna lie. You'll be going there to fight. Fantastic. Let me just get Rucker in here. It's her bird, after all.
I wouldn't want to be Rucker.
Thanks for coming by, Rucker. Looks like we got a volunteer to take a trip out to the pit.
We've met. Had a feeling you might be up for this when you came by earlier. Guess I was right.
Figured you should be involved, if we're gonna borrow your plane.
Don't let Lennox hear you call it a plane. She takes it personally. Anyway, sure thing. I guess you've already got all the ultra cells you need. I know you've got mine. Sophie and Esme tell me you helped them out too, so I expect you got theirs as well.
No can do, sport. I'll go back one day, but right now, I'm more use here, rustling up support to send back there. I'm not young enough to be much use on the front lines anymore.
Can't believe we've got a vertibird. That's a step up in the world if I've ever seen one.
Well, we got two different locals I know are in need of help. Locals are what we call union groups that act independently. Local 42's in the industrial district. Hex, their leader, is struggling to keep her people alive and retake a foundry from the fanatics. We got another over in the trench working against a fanatic forced labor camp. Danilo is your contact there. Haven't heard from the other locals recently, but I'm sure we'll be hearing from them if they got trouble too. It's up to you who you want to help right now. Maybe you'll consider going back again later for the other. Fair enough. What do you want to know? Well,
Well, I can answer that, Skippy. First of all, we've got refugees here from the pit. People who've made it all the way down on foot or in caravans. And the best way to help that situation is to help people not need to flee the pit in the first place. Second, the Union's the best chance of stability the pit's got. The responders don't just want to triage in the world. We want to help it rebuild one day. We'll need allies to do that.
it doesn't hurt that we've got factories that can still make manufactured goods either.
No, it does not.
There's no problem too big to solve.
I prefer volunteers to suckers. I'm not running some kind of scam here.
The answer is no, by the way. We run some regular sorties, trade some supplies, carry messages. Our radios don't reach that far, so communication's either us or waiting for caravans.
All right. All set? Got everything? Great. This means a lot to the Union. I'll make sure you're well rewarded for it. I might have some other things I need help with here in Appalachia, too. I'll let you know. Good luck up there. We're counting on you.
Stopping in to chat? I'm not complaining. Well, you're not bleeding through your shirt. Name's Rucker. Better believe it. Better. No. Thought you. Well, when I first, couple of folks, I started reading. I realized
These robots
nice enough. Can't say I'm awesome. Well, when I first, couple of folks, I started. I realized it was an army. Yeah, I wanted to do. Wasn't easy. Not kind. Wasn't easy. Not kind. Sure thing. We've grown, but everyone, that. Depends on. Hell, but I've never. Nice enough. I won't, but. Lord, if you're asking true told, I begrudge Orlando. No.
We're lucky these responders will help.
All right.
I won't do them the disservice of asking.
Till next.
Hit along, skip ahead. Why, naturally, I would be happy to share my wisdom with you. And I'll tell you everything you want to know. The Union is our grand experiment in human decency in the pit. All the people working together to rebuild a place that most say ain't worth rebuilding. We fight the fanatics, the ferals, and any other awful thing that stands to hold back progress in the Steel City. And there are a lot of those. Well, you know, we used to be a trade union before the war. A lot of us are holdovers from those days, old factory hands. Sticking together now like we did then. But we take all kinds, so long as they share the goal of winning back our foul city and making it fair again. That mix makes us a rowdy bunch, but it's also our secret sauce. Our eclectic minds think of things our enemies wouldn't imagine. So we stay one step ahead or even an inch ahead, but that's enough to keep us in the game. Quite frankly, because the odds are stacked against us. We represent civilization in the pit. Most folks up there have put that by the wayside, given in to their animal instincts. We want our home back, but we can't do it alone. That's all there is to it. If the fanatics unite the pit, they'll start marching elsewhere. If that ain't motivation enough, well, war breeds innovation. We can build you all manner of fighting. I'm the Union's inventor, quartermaster, and coordinator. I'm the brain guy. I use the know-how in this dome here of mine to help the kids in the field in any way I can. Sure thing. Can I? Of course. Will I? Also, of course. It's hell. What else can I say? What the bombs didn't level, the fanatics finished off. The air is choked with soot, the water is undrinkable, and the rads sear your skin like the sun of the Sahara. Then you'll be happy to join us on our frequent sojourns there, I take it. It's hell. The air is... It's horrible, but it's home. No matter how bad it is or gets, we believe we can turn it around. That's what we're fighting for. Before the war? Well, it wasn't a paradise, but still a sight to behold. The Steel City, we called it. A center of industry, making anything you can imagine. When the war rolled around, we built weapons, munitions, vertibirds, power armor, robots. I suppose that's what made us a target, and left us what we are now. The fanatics are a bunch of sadists, is what they are. They bill themselves as a confederation and say, "Hey, kid. Why not? Can I?" The fanatics are a bunch... They bill themselves as a confederation. That's nonsense, of course. Just an empty slogan. You... All right. Twist my arm, why don't you? Only been good at one thing in my life, and that's building things, so that's what I do. People call me a mad scientist. I built my fair share of oddities, but innovation takes risk. Parachutes sound crazy too, but they work. I'm lucky to have the time I have left after what I've been through. I'm not gonna waste it playing safe. Well, I'm a Pittsburgh man through and through. Daddy worked the steel mills hard, but I took a different route, tinkering for an armaments firm. This may surprise you, but I did everything by the book back then. Everything done to spec. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Life was stable, but boring as hell. I didn't really start living until after the bombs. They woke me up good. One good thing about making weapons of war for Uncle Sam is that they build those manufactories to last. The plant I worked in may as well have been a bunker, like one of those Vault-Tec vaults the Richies bought themselves. When the bombs came down, enough stood standing to keep us lucky few alive. What came after? The Rads, the Ferals, the Fanatics. That was a real test. Well, now that you mention it, I had this idea for a rat-powered motorboat recently. Rats are big enough nowadays. I think it could work. The problem is feeding them out on the water. Well, now that you mention it, I've been working on an atomic plunger. Industrial strength. You could pick up a landmine from 5 feet away if need be. Of course, disarming the thing might still be a challenge. Well, now that you mention it, I made some fireworks for the kiddos yesterday. Big booming ones in the shape of animals. I expected the dragon to scare them, but the cave cricket shocked them much worse. Only been good at one thing in my life, and that's building things, so that's people call... I'm lucky to... Well, now that you mention it, you ever heard of a pterodactyl? Old creature, massive wingspan. Big wingspans intrigue me. We won't be building new vertibirds anytime soon, so I was thinking we need a replacement. Well, now that you mention it, I tested a new Brahmin milker the other day. Help out the farmers around here, you know? The problem is the cost. Maybe the fusion cell is overkill for the power source? Well, now that you mention it, I made some fireworks for the kiddos yesterday. Big boom. I expected the... Well, now that you mention it, I've been working on an atomic plunger, industrial strength. Of course, well, now that you mention it, I had this idea for a rat-powered motorboat recently. The problem is... Well, now that you mention it, I tested a new Brahmin milker the other day. The problem is the cost. Tired of hearing it? Oh, well, okay then. Anytime, my friend.
The potatoes here taste amazing. So fresh, and only a few rats.
I heard there's some monsters in the pit that'll give you a run. A rad stag on a stage. A deer.
The White Spring is fabulous this time of year.
That one always gets me.
If you're caught out and about with no place to go, the responders have an outpost in Flatwoods.
Why even bother helping people that can't help themselves?
Do you ever look up at the stars and wonder?
I heard about what happened in Morgantown. I know it was way back, but I'm glad they chose to send me somewhere safe and not somewhere like that.
Feeling fruity? Try Nuka Sherry, grape, or orange.
Try not to track all of that dirt into my shop. Hey, I already near broke my back trying to wash up the fallout.
Well, hello. Do you like Nuka-Cola? Don't be silly. Of course you do. Exclusive to the White Spring, early release bottles of the newest cola sensation, Nuka-Cola Quantum.
Skippy? Should live by his name and skip on down to my store.
Feeling fruity? Try Nuka Sherry, grape, or orange.
It's been sunny all week. I love it here. I think we can make this place home for a lot of people. Yourself included.
Oh, the work I do is extremely rewarding, but boy is it tiring.
Sometimes these days get so long, I forget why I came here in the first place.
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what they're doing now.
Hope all the folks at the commune are doing
Sorry,
well.
I'm not much for conversation. Ellison talked my ear off.
Damn, that bloodbug sting was nasty. Wonder what it was like pre-war when they were tiny.
That riddle is driving me insane.
I heard a bunch of nerds arguing over comic book heroes yesterday. Aren't
Don't
there
bother
more
talking to that
important
person
things to
from
worry about?
Crater. Nasty bunch, aren't they?
So this is a place that's bringing all these damn people to Appalachia.
Considering all the places I could have ended up, I'm extremely lucky I'm here. I've never felt safer.
Nothing like the roar of these engines. Whoa! Hey, now you look interesting. What's up? I'm Lennox. First place we checked out after we got the old girl working again. Far enough to prove her out, close enough for our fuel. The city's in bad shape. Real bad. Of course, I only saw it from the sky, mostly. I stay with the bird and leave the hiking to others. They only shot at us a little when we flew over, not too bad. Nothing she can't handle. We got a safe LZ now, so that shouldn't happen again. Probably. Yeah, right on. About time we made another trip out there. I mean, me and my girl here. You haven't been, I guess. Ruckus said somebody'd be coming by. Guess you're it. If you're all set, I'm ready when you are. Assuming you got the ultrasight battery cells for this beauty. I'm a miracle worker in the sky, but even I can't make a fly on willpower alone. Remember, anytime... Look who's back! Look who's back!